Hi, my name's Kiana. You're watching the Moxi YouTube channel, and I'm going to be talking about Fundae Wheels. So, what are we going to talk about with the Fundae Wheels? We're going to talk about the wheel hardness, the wheel size, how that affects your skating at the skate park, and what a hybrid wheel is meant for, as well as why I personally like this wheel, and just all the cool things that you can do with your Fundae wheels. So let's get into it. So with the Fundae wheels, the wheel size is 57 millimeters, and then the hardness of the wheel is 92A. So it is on the higher end of being a harder wheel, but it's still soft enough that it's going to give you a little bit of a cushion. So the wheels that I'm holding in my hand right now are going to be the no whip Fundaes. So they currently don't have that swirl that the Fundaes are known for, like, you know, a Fundae swirl. But I do have one in lavender that I can show you. So here's what a lavender one looks like, a little bit more worn in, still super pretty in the lavender color. But the cool thing about having a wheel that's smaller and still a little cushiony is that when you're doing street skate stuff or you're doing park stuff, the wheel's not getting in the way of your hardware or what you might be stalling or doing tricks on at the park. So if you have a bigger wheel at the skate park, what that means is that, you know, when you're doing like 50-50s or you're doing stalls or anything like that, that wheel could be getting in the space between your slider and your truck. And so when you're doing stuff, you could just have more of an opportunity to possibly land on your wheel than landing on any other area that you might be wanting to land on. So if I'm doing 50-50s and I have a bigger wheelbase, instead of landing on my trucks, I could be landing on my wheels, and that's not really something I'm interested in doing. Alright, I might want to grind and not actually roll in my wheels when I'm doing tricks, so just having a smaller wheelbase is really nice for that. Not only that, but weight of your roller skate in general. So when you have a smaller wheelbase and a wheel that is lighter, which the Fundaes are really dang light, it's not adding any weight onto your skate too, so you're gonna zip through the skate park because you're gonna have a lighter wheel. One thing I really like about the Fundaes is that a hybrid wheel is an in-between before going to a harder wheel. So if you're currently wearing gummies at the skate park or you're wearing a more softer wheel at the skate park, you're doing a lot of work. The reason why is because you're wearing a wheel that's gonna grip the concrete, because that's what it's meant for. It's meant to be bouncy and absorb your impact. So it's trying to grip at whatever it can because it's not trying to slip off of these things, it's trying to roll right over them. So when you have a wheel like a hybrid that's harder, smaller, and just a little bit cushiony, what that means is that you're going to be able to go fast without being worried about going over cracks, going over bumps, things like that. This wheel can be for beginners and people that are more advanced. You're just going to use them a little differently. So if you know that you're possibly going to be using this wheel in more different areas than just the street, then a Fundae is going to be great for you. So if you're going from a gummy wheel to a hybrid, you're basically going from soft to medium and then to hard. So if you're not too sure about going to a harder wheel right away, I would recommend the Fundae wheels because they're great because they're lighter, they're smaller, and they're not going to be as grippy, so you're not going to have to do a lot of extra work. With a gummy wheel or any other softer wheel that you're wearing at the skate park, like a Luminous or just, again, like a bigger wheel, you're going to have extra weight on you. So a smaller wheel is going to help with that, and you're going to feel a lot lighter while you're at the skate park. Great reason why I like the Fundaes. I don't have the best knees, so I would like to still go fast without having to sacrifice a wheel that's not as hard. So the Fundae is great because it's a great hybrid that allows me to have the smallness of a wheel on the harder end scale, as well as a little bit of the cushion to absorb my impact when I'm doing harder tricks. So I'm going to be able to still absorb my impact when I'm wearing the Fundae wheels, and it's going to be great. Bonus, if you go from a softer wheel to a Fundae and then to a hard wheel, if you get really good speed on a Fundae wheel and you have no problem at all, you're zipping around on these, you're gonna do amazing on a harder skate park wheel, because you're going to have done the work on a wheel that's just a little bit more cushiony, that a harder wheel you're going to have that speed, that knowledge, that muscle memory for, that you're just gonna go zipping through the skate parks on a harder wheel. So that's why I love the Fundae wheel. It's a great in-between wheel. It's small and it's cushiony, so it's gonna absorb the impact of whatever you're gonna be skating on. And it's great for the lazy skater. So if you don't wanna have to change your wheel, you don't have to. You can go straight from the skate park to wherever you're going with this wheel. Thanks for learning more about Fundaes with me, Kiana, on the Moxi Roller Skates channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also turn on notifications if you want to know when we put out another video. If you like this video, you learned something new, maybe I missed something, or maybe you have an extra question, go ahead and put it in the comments down below so that we can get back to you. If you liked watching this video, hope to see you at the next one, and have a really great day.